Are you ready to start section 4? It's time. Hey everyone, Cristin Som here, and it's time to start on section 4, the last section of our Falling for Autumn quilt. So I have to say, I'm so impressed with you guys. I did that truck tutorial and 7 hours later, everyone's posting their truck. Everyone's like so on it. I can't believe it. I feel like I can't keep up. Every time I get a tutorial done, I'm like, I'm ahead, I'm doing good, and then boom, you guys are just on it. So we're gonna keep on going. All right, so section 3 was so cute. I love section 3. I absolutely love this one. This came out really fun. That truck, oh my gosh, it's just so darn cute. I love that. That was fun. And then we also have sections 1 and 2 all complete. So now that means it's time to go on to section 4. So I want to warn you, I was looking at section 4 and there's a lot to it. I think there's like 8 blocks if I recall. And we don't have any already done toward it. So it's going to be a big one. So section 4 we are going to start on. So let's see. The first one, I'm thinking that we start with that Songbird. And I'm actually thinking that we should do 2 blocks because there's 2 that are the same size. And I might do a little something, just a very little something. So let's start with that. So Songbird is on page 40 of our book. All right, so turn to page 40 and I'll give you all of the information for this one. It looks like it's pretty simple. You can always tell if it's a pretty simple block when there's not much to it. All right, so that should be good. All right, so starting with Songbird. So our main fabric is this green and white. I've got little threads on the back. So green and white shapes fabric. All right. I did back mine with fusible stabilizer. You really should back your main fabric. All right. So main fabric, we're going to start with this at 6.5 by 6.5. 6.5 by 6.5 for our main fabric backed with fusible stabilizer. All right. And then we have just a couple of applique pieces. So the bird itself is that golden silky solid. All right, golden silky solid. I backed my applique pieces with fusible stabilizer. That's optional, completely up to you and how you like yours to be. I find it a lot easier for cutting and it lays flat and I like the look of it. So I do make that effort. So on this one is that golden silky solid for the bird. And we're going to start with this at 4 by 2.5. 4 by 2.5. All right, that's for the bird applique fabric. And then, oh, how cute, his little wing is that velveteen. So the velveteen, it is, you want to check the nap. I was just checking to see which way. So this way it is nice and soft, whereas this way it's not as much. It stands up a little bit. So we want it to be like that. So check your nap when you lay it down for your applique piece. So for this, the wing, it's the orange spice velveteen. Don't back velveteen with anything. Leave it as is. And we're going to start with this at 2.5 by 2. It's an applique piece for the wing. 2.5 by 2 for the velveteen. All right. And then we have the foam. So the foam is going to be our base. Flexifoam. It's in your, I believe it was in our embellishment kit if I recall correctly. And this one we want to be 4 by 2.5, just like the bird, 4 by 2.5. All right. And then we are going to quilt this. So we want our batting to be 5 by 5, 5 by 5 for your batting piece. And we are going to quilt this with fruit 5, so the apples, fruit 5 in a 4 by 4 horizontal design. All right. And they're going to both be centered, so no changes there. Fruit 5 in a 4 by 4 horizontal design. All right. And I'm thinking of adding just a very small thing to this. And I'll show you when I get there. It's just something fun to do on Embrilliance, and that's why I want to do it. So completely optional, of course, but I'm also thinking of doing 2 blocks. And so I'm going to bring you over to the computer anyway to show you how to merge the 2. So if you decide to add that little change that I'm going to make to my bird, then you have that option as well. Totally up to you. All right, so give me 1 second and then we'll talk about the next block. All right, so the next one I want to work on is the warm drinks block. These are not together, but they are both in section 4 and they're the same size. So I figured it would be a really easy way to just have these 2 blocks doing in one day. All right, so the warm drinks block is on page 47 of our book. All right, and again, easy. There's not much to it, so that this should be an easy day doing these 2 blocks together. All right, so let's just talk about what we need for this one. Very simple. This one we are going to have our main fabric. It is a taupe brown color, silky solid, and we want this to be 6.5 by 6.5, just like the main fabric of that bird. 6.5 by 6.5. Make sure to back this with fusible stabilizer for your main fabric. All right, 6.5 by 6.5, a taupe colored silky solid. No design on it. All right, and then we have the mug. So I want to point out on this mug, it is this violet color, silky solid, no design to it. I did back mine with fusible stabilizer. It's supposed to be 3 by 2.5, and I didn't have quite enough in my packet, so mine is actually 3 by 2.25, so just a little bit smaller. And Kimberbell's dimensions are always like we have enough fabric, so I'm not concerned about it at all, but I just want to point it out. It's supposed to be 3 by 2.5. All right, so I'll just position it well to make sure that I have enough. 3 by 2.5, that's for the mug. It's a silky solid, and I did back mine with fusible stabilizer. Like I said, I like to do that on my applique pieces, completely optional. 3 by 2.5. That's for the mug. And then for the saucer, it is this directional fabric, the chevron arrows. It looks like arrows more to me than chevron, but either way, navy blue with chevron on it. And this one is going to be 3.5 by 2, so the opposite of that other one. So 3.5 by 2 for the saucer. All right, and it is a directional fabric. I showed in the prep video that you want to lay your fabric down in a certain way that it's going to be cut correctly, so that the lines are going the way that it shows in the book. But of course, your quilt your way. If your lines are going the other way, that's totally fine. 3.5 by 2 for the sauce. All right, saucer. All right, and then we want our batting. Our batting is going to be 5 by 5. All right, 5 by 5 for our batting, just like on the bird block that we're also doing. And this one we are going to quilt with plaid 3 in a 4 by 4 design. Plaid 3 in a 4 by 4 design, and they're both going to be centered. Super easy blocks, both of them. So I figure we'll join them together and get 2 done today, because like I said, there are, I think, like 8 blocks of section 2, so those will take some time. So we'll go ahead and do 2 of them today. So let's get started. Hi everyone, I'm at my computer now, and I'm going to open up Embroidery Essentials. I'm going to show you how to merge the 2 blocks together on one hooping if you choose, and how to add a little something also if you choose. So down here at the bottom, it will tell you what hoop size you've opened up to. It says I'm on my 6 by 6 hoop. That will not work for both of them. How about let's try a 6 by 10 and see if that gives us enough room and saves on stabilizer. So I'm clicking my 6 by 10 hoop. I clicked on preferences first, and then 6 by 10 hoop. I'm going to say okay, and then I'm going to click this compass button and click on H for hoop. And I'm going to start by bringing in the quilting design. So the first one, I'm going to go to merge stitch file, and I'm going to go to my bundle of quilting. And the first one was the Fruit 5 and a 4 by 4 horizontal. So Fruit 5 embroidery files, Pez is what I use for my machine. I'm looking for a 4 by 4 right there, and I think it said horizontal. 4 by 4 horizontal right there. Fruit 5. Okay, so I'm going to just click on this, and I'm going to move it up to the very top here of this hoop, making sure not to go over the hoop lines. The yellow part is the hoop lines. All right, and while I'm here, I'm going to quickly change these colors so that I can do a color sort. I'm going to click outside of the design and then click on 1-1, click on the color, and I'm going to choose the first color that comes up, since it doesn't matter what color we choose. And for me, that's dark aqua, because I'm on Filtech Glide as my preferred thread color. So I changed it to dark aqua. I'm going to click on 1-2, click on the color, and the first color that comes up for me is Blaze. 1-3, click on the color. We already used dark aqua, so I'm going to use the second color down, which for me is Marine. And then 1-4, click on the color, and I'm going to use the second color, which is Oriole for me. And then 1-5, I'm going to click on the color. One of these was green, and one of them was brown, so I don't want those to merge together. unless you're using like a cream or a gray, whatever. If you wanted them to be the same, you could, but I'm going to keep them separate just so that I can decide when I get there. All right, so 1-5, click on the color. First color that comes up for me is Sprout, and that one is done. I'm going to click outside so that nothing is selected, and I'm going to go to Merge Stitch File, and I'm going to bring in the next quilting design. So for the warm drinks, the quilting design is Plaid 3 and a 4x4. So I'm going to close up this Fruit 5. There's Plaid 3, Embroidery Files, Pez, and I'm looking for the 4x4. Right there, 4x4 Plaid 3. Double click on that, it goes to the center. I'm going to click on the design so it's selected, and then I'm going to use my arrow keys to move it down, keeping it in the center. And I'm just going to see if that gives me enough space. So it looks like I have about 1 inch in between, and that should be plenty. So I'm going to go ahead and keep with my 6x10 hoop. I think that that will work fine. In fact, it looks like this one can go down one more bit. Just make sure you're not over the hoop. All right, and then I'm going to change the thread colors to the same as what I did above, except for that last one, the actual quilting. So on 2-1, I can see the colors up here. I'm going to click on the color, and I'm going to choose dark aqua like I did on the first one. And then 2-2, click on the color, I want Blaze. 2-3, click on the color, I want the second color, which is Marine. 2-4, click on the color, I want Oriole. And then 2-5, that's the actual quilting design. I'm going to click on the color, and I don't want these to join, so I'm not going to use Sprout. I'm going to use Sea Green and say OK. All right, those two are done. Now I could do, let's see, I'd like to do a color sort, but I also want to make sure that the warm drinks and the bird are aligned correctly. So let me see here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to do a color sort because then I'll still have the other one. So that will work. I'm on Untitled 1, the first tab. I'm going to go ahead and do a color sort. So right now I have 10 color steps. I'm going to go to Utility, Color Sort. And don't forget to have these same settings that I have here to get the same results. I'm going to click New View. It says it reduced it by 4. So New View opens up a new tab. So then I have my original tab, which is what I want. I'm going to click on this and just check it. So we have placement for batting, tack down for batting, placement for main fabric, tack down for main fabric, and then the 2 quilting designs. So that's perfect. I'm going to work off of this first one though, so that I can bring in those designs and I can align them. This one is already ready, okay, because it's all down to one design for the quilting. So I'm going to go to Untitled 1 tab, and I'm going to bring in that bird design first. So I'm going to close up the quilting, and I'm going to go to the embroidery files, Pez, and the quilt, and I'm looking for that bird right there. Double click on the bird, it goes to the center, and so I want to be able to align that correctly with the quilting. So an easy way to do that, since these are separated, I'm going to go ahead and click on the first design, which is the quilting, and then I'm going to hit the control button and click on the bird. That's the third design, and I'm going to go to Utility, Align and Distribute, and I'm going to say Center, Center, Apply. And you can see it moved the bird, but it also moved the whole block. So you have to keep that in mind. I'm going to say close, and then I'm going to move that block back up to where it was while they're both selected. All right, I want to make sure that I've got the quilting and the bird selected to be able to move them both together. All right, so that works perfectly, and you do want to make sure that it's right back where it was before, otherwise it's not going to be aligned just right when we add it to the second part. I hope that makes sense. All right, so that one is done for now. I'm going to add something, but I'm going to finish out first. So I want to bring in that warm drinks design now. So I'm going to go to Merge Stitch File and the Falling for Autumn quilt, and I'm looking for the warm drinks design. Right there, warm drinks. Double click on that, it goes to the center. Now again, I want to align it with this quilting design down here, and I know that quilting design is number 2, so I'm going to hit click that, and then I'm going to hit my control button, hold on to my control button, and click on the fourth design, which is that warm drinks, and I'm going to do that align and distribute. So if I go to utility, align and distribute, center, center, apply. All right, and again, it moved the design. You know what, I'm curious if it does that. If I were to move it first, you know what, I bet you, I'm going to hit close and I'm going to click undo. All right, so I'm just testing something here, so just ignore me for just a moment. I'm going to bring this cup down where I think it's pretty close, okay? And I'm going to line it up with using those black squares. I'm just visually centering it right now because I want to test something. So you saw it moved that quilting design. I'm wondering if I bring it closer, because remember my cup was up here in the center. I'm going to close up this 4. I'm going to click on 2, the quilting design, and then hold that control button and click on 4 so that those are both selected. And now I'm going to do that align and distribute and just see if it doesn't move all of it. Align and distribute. Center, center, apply. All right, and it did not move the whole block. So that's one thing important. So with that bird, same thing. When we did the bird, I'm going to click close. When we did that bird, the bird was in the center. If you first move it to the block that you want to align and distribute it, I don't think it'll move that whole block. So that's why I tested that. All right, so now we have that centered or aligned with the block. We have the bird aligned with the block. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on this bird and hit the control button and click on the warm drinks. I don't want the quilting designs because I already have the quilting designs in that Untitled 2. I just want the bird and the drink file. So I'm going to say Control C while those are both selected. I'm going to go to Untitled 2 and I'm going to say Control V so that those will go to where they were before. And I'm just going to close this up so you can see. So I've got my quilting designs already all color sorted, and then I have the bird design and I have the warm drinks design. So that's perfect. You can be done here. You can send it to your machine and you're all ready to go. Or if you want to add a little something, I thought of a cute idea that I think would be fun. So I'm going to do this on mine. You absolutely do not have to. This is a little stretch exercise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over a little bit for just a moment. I bought some designs from Designs by Juju that have 1/4 inch size. I bought a bunch of them and I already transferred most of them to my my Brilliance workspace, but I left one just in case you haven't seen me do this before. I've done it on a lot of tutorials, but just in case, I'm going to go ahead and open one of them. So when you buy something, when you buy a design from a designer, it comes as a zipped file. So you have to unzip it before Embrilliance can use it. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on this file. And I'm on a PC. I don't know if it's different for a Mac, but on mine, you can see I've got all of these new 1/4 inch fonts. So that should be helpful. I'm going to click Extract All and say Extract. And it extracts that folder. I'm going to go ahead and close these. I'm going to delete that first one, this zipped file. Since I just unzipped it, I don't need that clogging up my computer. So I'm going to click delete. And here's the one that it unzipped. I'm going to move it here just so you can see it better. All right, so here's the 1/4 inch file that's unzipped. I'm going to open that, and then each of these are separate. There are 6 1/4 inch files. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move my Embrilliance back over here just so that you can see this, and I can actually make this a lot smaller. That would be easier. Okay, and it doesn't have to be, I'm just giving you so that you can see better. All right, so this Charlie 1/4 inch file, I'm going to double click on that, click on the folder, and there's the BX. So the BX is what you want to download from Designs by Juju because they work amazingly with Embrilliance. So I'm just going to grab it and drag it over to the workspace, and you can see it says that it's been installed. All right, so I'm going to say, okay, that's great. That's what I wanted to happen. I'm going to make this a little smaller so you can see more of it next time. All right, and then I'm going to go to the next one. The next one is called Dramastic in a 1/4 inch. This is font bundle 1 of the 1/4 inch, by the way. And like I said, I bought several of them, but I saved this one just so that you could see how it's done. So here's the Dramastic. I'm going to go ahead and again click on it, drag it over to the workspace and it says it's been installed. That's how easy it is to do that. All right, so I'm just going to quickly go through all of these. There's 6 of them. Lemon drop 1/4 inch, drag it over to the workspace, say okay. All right, and Octavia, drag it over, it's installed. How easy is that? That's just crazy cool. Pickleberry is another one that I bought. Pickleberry, drag it over to the workspace, go back to the next, and here's the last one, Salt and Lime. And I'm just going to drag it over to the workspace. Again, you have to make sure that your files are unzipped to be able to do that, but you just drag it over to your workspace. All right, and then I'm going to bring this back over here. Now, what the idea that I want to do for my my design, and again, totally optional. Keep in mind that the bird block that it's on a green and white fabric, so a little bit busy, but not really, and it's going to have this quilting design, but I thought it would be really cute to add a word. That's it. Very simple, but then we can make some changes to the word to be able to learn how to do that. All right, so I'm going to click on this Create Letters button, and it opens up with this block design that comes free from Embrilliance. All right, and this one, it works really well. I like it. I use it a lot, but not for this one. For this one, I want something very small, and that's why I bought several 1/4 inch fonts from Designs by Juju. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on ABC where it's on the text. If you're not seeing this, you have to make sure you're on the Letters tab, which it should automatically open for you when you click that A button. But anyway, if you're not on it, click that Letters tab. All right, and then highlight where the text is, the ABC, and I'm going to have it say tweet. All right, and then hit return and it changes the word. Now from there, you can click on your fonts. You can see right here on that ABC block, if I click on the fonts, I can see all kinds of fonts. And I already looked through several of them, but I have a lot. And I have the ones that I just loaded that I haven't seen. So if I had written those down, I could actually open up the folder and look for them. But either way, look through your fonts, find something that you like. It will need to be something small or something that you can shrink a lot of. All right, so I looked through mine and I just looked through several of the 1/4 inch ones that I just purchased. There's a big plane overhead. Excuse that sound for just a moment. All right, there was a loud plane overhead. All right, so if I recall, it was down here. Sometimes it's hard to find the Designs by Juju fonts because they're not always in alphabetical order. Some of them have a space, some of them have a little dash. So it changes how to be able to find them. It would be better if they were, if it was uniform, that they're all going to have this little, see how some of them have a space and some don't. So the one that I found, I thought it was right around here. Let me see. Okay, so I found the one that I was thinking of using. It's called Ashby. So you can see it's DBJJ Ashby, whereas this DBJJ has got a little hyphen under it, and that's why they're not in alphabetical order. It would be great if Embrilliance had a search feature so that once that you know which font you want to use, you could just type it in. Or even if you knew you wanted to use a 1/4 inch, that would make life really easy if you could just find all of those. I wonder if we could make folders somehow within Embrilliance. That would be easy. Anyway, so Ashby is the one that I purchased that I thought would be cute. I don't recall which bundle it was in. The 1/4 inch ones are all in bundles. So you could just type in Ashby, ASHBY, into Designs by Juju and find it that way. All right, so I'm going to click on that and you can see it changes the word. All right, and so I'm going to click outside so that you can see it. Here's the word. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drag this up and I'm going to go ahead. Let's see, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 of them. I found that if you make one and then do the second one, it's already got the formatting. It kind of makes it weird. So I'm going to go ahead and do that again. So I'm going to click on this A up here, which is to create letters. And then it's already on that Ashby already. So that's perfect. So I'm just going to click on the ABC type tweet. I want 2 tweets. All right, so I want one. I started with doing two together, and then I decided I wanted them different, or not different, but separated. All right, so there they are. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in just so that I can see what I'm working on here a little bit better, since they're such small fonts. I'm just going to zoom in here. All right, so here's the first tweet. Now what I want to do is I want to do some changes to that so that it looks kind of centered with the bird, or just something fun, right? So here I've got it clicked on this first one, and I'm going to go ahead and change the curve. I don't remember if I did the bottom. No, I don't think so. I think it was the other way. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring this back to center, and I'm going to click undo. All right, and go back to that first one, and I think it was this top one. Let's try this. Let's just see. So you can see you can do all kinds of fun things to just curve it a little bit. So, or before you do that, if you wanted, I'm going to bring it back to the center, click undo. The other thing that you can do is you can click on this and get it where you want it first. And this button up here, there's the regular black squares. The end ones are the ones that will resize it to make it smaller or bigger. But see this little blue dot right here? That one, if you click near it, or if you just hover near it, you can see it makes a little circle, and it makes it so that you can rotate your design. All right, so you can rotate those words. So I'm going to do that, and then I can have it placed where I want it, and then from there I can start curving it to what I think would look fun. All right, so I think I did the bottom one. Let's try the bottom. Yeah, maybe to think about this. So just play around with it until you get the look that you want. I think I'll try this way. So you can see that it does change the font. So you want to keep that in mind. But if you want to be able to just rotate it and maybe curve it a little bit, there's the slant feature. You can do that as well. Or the space feature, which I don't want to do that. I know I don't want to do that. I want to be able to curve it. So I'm thinking the bottom of it. If I curve the design, yeah, like that. So see what it's doing is it's curving the bottom of it. If you do it this way, yeah, it's changing the design, but you can see how much changes that you can make, and just whatever you're looking for, right? So I think I want to be able to just rotate it a little bit. Not rotate, but I want to be able to have it slant. I'm not sure what the right wording is. I think it's this. I think that's the look I want, but I don't want it to be so shrunk down. So just play around with it to what looks good for you. Let's see. Click outside so that you can see it better. That looks pretty good. I might rotate it just a tad more this way. All right, and then this one, I think I decided that I liked it not changed because there's not as much of a curve on the bird on this part, so I just rotated it. Although it'd be good because then it would click on the quilting design. All right, so then you can see that it's a little bit different though. The other thing, I wonder if we could just copy it. I don't think you can. Let me see, Control C, Control V, and it did. It made another one. I didn't think it would let me do that. So if I did that and I rotate that, then it's got the same sizing. Let me just see which one I like better. So bottom line is you're just playing around with this. Oh, that looks good. I like that, but I have to rotate it a bit more. So whatever look you're looking for, you know, just a little something extra. I think that that would be so cute. Tweet, tweet. Yep, I like that. I'm going to go with those two. All right, so I deleted that first one, or that original one. I clicked on the design and then clicked delete on my keyboard. I think that looks so cute. I think that's really fun. So one thing is I would like it to do the tweet before the cup. So I can click on the cup, which let me zoom out so you can see the whole design. I'll go to hoop. All right, if I click on this and right click on the picture, I can say move last, and it'll bring it back at the bottom. So then I've got all of the quilting design, and then I have the bird and the letters, both of them, and then the mug. So I think that's really cute. It's just a tiny little something added, very small, nothing too big. Another thing is, like I said, you can do a 1/2 inch size and shrink it down, or you can choose a 1/4 inch. The 1/4 inch sizes are a little bit harder to work with, and I haven't had a problem, but they are a little bit harder to work with. Whereas if you're doing the 1/2 inch size, you can size it and move it in a little bit better. Just because it's bigger, I guess. I'm not sure. But anyway, this is done. I'm going to go ahead and do a file, save stitch file as. And I'm going to name this, what size hoop did we use? 6 by 10 bird mug. All right, whatever is going to help you to find it. That part doesn't matter at all. And then my machine's not on, or I would send it, or you can send it to your USB stick. And let's get started on stitching our bird and our mug designs. shirt today. This is a fun one. I think I got it at Fred Meyer, the actual sweater, or it's like a thin hooded shirt, long sleeve hooded shirt. It's raining here today, so I'm wearing this rain boots one. I think it was from Itch to Stitch, and it says learn to dance in the rain. I added the wording, and it's just a really cute design. I will add a bigger picture so that you can see it better. Itch to Stitch is no longer in business, so I don't know if I'll be able to add a link of where you can purchase the design. I'll take a look and see though. Designs by Juju did buy Itch to Stitch, so most of their designs and their fonts you can still get now from Designs by Juju. So I'll add information if I have it underneath this video. It's a really cute design though, and I added clear vinyl to it so that it's on top of the rain boots. I think that's really cute and fun. So I'll add information if I have it. And how are you doing with your goal? My goal is weight loss, but I'm afraid to get on the scale. I'm giving myself a few days because, like I told you, on Sunday we went to this football game and ate so much stuff, way too much stuff. So I'm drinking tons of water to work it off and doing my exercises to try and get brave to get on the scale, because I have a feeling I didn't do very good. In fact, my husband told me that he gained 3 pounds in 4 days. Between like our trip to Washington and eating junk food at that trip, I think we ate a little bit, not too bad, but that 49er game, we ate a bunch of junk. So I'm just staying away from the scale, but I'm doing my workout. So my husband and I climbed Table Rock on Saturday, and I went for a bike ride with my bike club on Sunday. So I'm definitely getting my activity. Did a run in Romania yesterday, and I have an activity planned for tonight that I haven't done yet. So working first, but tonight I will get a workout again. So working hard on it. If you have had a little lapse in your goal, share that. It's okay. I mean, we're not perfect. We are humans. We make mistakes. And as long as we're working on being our best selves, that's all that matters.